about to see very difficult times for Jaguar and the whole new car market. You will have seen over the past week that Jaguar has had or started a major rebrand, and they haven't given us that much information, and it's been absolutely slated by the motoring world and the media. For those of you who haven't seen it, they posted a video on Instagram. They deleted all their Instagram posts and then just uploaded this one video, and there was no text, there was no vocals, there was no imagery that suggested that Jaguar was a car brand, and they got absolutely hammered for it. It's a strange video, I will admit, but I think Jaguar has received a lot of criticism about it, and I'm not 100% sure all of it is justified. Jaguar is a brand which is dear to many people's hearts, but it's had a very challenging 30 or 40 years. A lot of people who have criticised the recent rebranding, a lot of them they're referencing the E-Type Jaguar, the most beautiful car ever made, and the XK120, and having records for the fastest car in the world when it was launched and all this. But people aren't recognising the fact that this was 60, 70 years ago. It was a long time ago. And yes, Jaguar did delete their posts, and it's when you split up with someone, you delete all your previous pictures on social media. It's a bit weird, it's a bit like that, you kind of forget in your history, but the E-Type won't disappear. Every Jaguar on the road isn't going to get crushed. Like, the heritage is still there, it's just not on Instagram, but that's where most people spend most of their time these days. So Jaguar has had a tough few decades, and I think there's a few reasons for this. They never really changed their design that much. So if you look at, say, the Jaguar XJs and stuff, if you look like through the 70s up to early noughties, they were quite recognisably the same. They were just the same car, basically, just a little bit of plastic surgery here and there. And the trouble is with that, it didn't attract new people to the brand. They say that it's got this loyal brand of like more aristocratic, more well-to-do people. They buy their Jaguar over their leather, and they never attracted the younger people. The people who were buying the E-Types in the 60s were still buying the Jags in the 90s, but that was about it. Now, in the late noughties, Jaguar had a major shake-up, and they ditched a lot of the old designs and came up with cars like this, the XKR, and gone with the old 4.2s, like the supercharged 4.2 litres, which I think Shakespeare referenced in one of his plays, and they introduced the 5 litre V8, which I've got in this car right now, and you should hear it. It is a fabulous thing. So gone was the old technology, and what they were bringing out was better materials, better quality, more infotainment, more technology, and to an extent it perked up the brand a little bit. It gave it a new image, gone with those old designs. They brought aluminium into the structure and all that, and they were once again great cars. But I'm sat in this now, it's 14 years old, and the way the world has changed over the past 15 years, this car feels amazing. It feels fantastic to drive a car like this, but it feels like a completely different era. It's madness. The V8 is loud and rough and extremely powerful. It has a conventional automatic gearbox, and everything's just nice leather, some nice materials. For in its day, this would have been absolutely mega. It's starting to look a little bit dated now, but this is classic late noughties Jaguar. But what an event! This engine's an absolute powerhouse, and it's a rocket ship. For such a big old lump, this thing is seriously fast. But it never really worked. You see, Jaguars, particularly since the pandemic, sales have dropped. They tried to re-perk up the industry, the business, by introducing SUVs, which is what everyone wants at the moment. So they brought out the F-Pace, the I-Pace, the E-Pace, and they helped to an extent. But Jaguar were competing against an absolute giant in the market, and they were closer than you think. You see, Jaguar is owned by a parent company, JLR, which is also owned by Tata, which is an Indian steel company predominantly. And JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, as you probably guessed, is Jaguar and Land Rover. So Jaguar were competing with a car built within its own ranks, the Range Rover, and the Range Rover branding and what it's become. It's the best. It's the best SUV out there, isn't it? It's the best compromise between luxury, value to an extent, just style. It just matches the lifestyle, or it brings the lifestyle that people want. And the F-Pace, brilliant car as it is, I've driven one. I haven't driven the I-Pace or the E-Pace, but the F-Pace is a great car, it really is. But when you're competing against yourself, they're not going to win, are they? Jaguar's sales across the JLR group account for 20%, whereas the Land Rover products are 80%. So they're fighting a battle here, and I'm interested to see what they reveal on the 2nd of December at Pebble Beach. I suspect it's going to be still in the premium sector, and I suspect they're going to be electric as well, which worries me because the electric car market is going through a hell of a difficult time, and the main reason is depreciation. So all you need to do is look at a Porsche Taycan. People who are buying those cars new for 100 grand, 150 grand are losing tens of £1,000s a year on depreciation alone, and that's due to a variety of factors. We haven't got the infrastructure, they're priced very high to start with, and people don't quite have the faith in the electric infrastructure and the life of batteries and all that stuff. So they're losing thousands of pounds a month alone in depreciation. That's more than probably what they're paying on the mortgage. And people are wising up to this, and people who can afford these cars are quite savvy, and they don't want to lose that amount of money so quickly. And it's just having this snowball effect. The cars, you can pick up a Taycan now for £40,000, which is an incredible used purchase, and a lot of people are tempted by it. But depreciation on used cars in the EV sector, 5 or 6 years old, are now on a level with internal combustion engines. But the first and second owners have taken massive hits. So I think if Jaguar are going to go into this sector, all guns blazing, get rid of internal combustion and all that stuff, I think they might come up against it because people are not buying as many new electric cars as they were a couple of years ago because of that depreciation. And if you're going to buy an electric car brand new, what are you going to buy? Are you going to buy a Jaguar, or are you going to buy a Tesla, or are you going to buy a Mercedes-Benz, a BMW? People are going to still have their loyalties, and just completely refreshing your look might not be enough to win people over. Let's see how they get on. I really hope they succeed, because I love Jaguar, I love the brand. We sell quite a lot at Auto 7, and I've driven F-Type V8, V6s, I love the V6S, and this is an absolute cracker, this XKR. So I really want them to succeed. I'm not as upset as most people are about the rebrand. I suspect that a lot of people who are commenting and slating Jaguar in this rebrand are people who are, one, have never owned a Jaguar, and two, are never going to own a Jaguar. So I don't understand how they can criticise, really. So good luck, Jaguar. I hope you do well. Let's see.